Hey guys, Brian Cade here with Cade Fit, a fitness and self-development center where I teach people to get more out of their bodies and more out of their lives. I've been wanting to do a video on relationships for a while now. It comes from my own struggles with being terribly insecure, socially awkward, and a people pleaser. I didn't know what to say to people. It was often the wrong things at the wrong time. They just didn't go well. And if I did have relations with others, I always felt like I needed to do specific things to get them to like me. And so I was constantly worried about, does this person like me? Did I say the right thing? Did I move the right way? And it just wasn't effective, and I didn't have the deep relationships that I wanted. So at a certain point, I decided to change it. I started studying How to Win Friends and Influence People and countless other books and videos on the subject. And I wish I could say that that's why I'm doing this video now, because I do have better relationships, I do have better friends, quality, deep relationships with people that really resonate with me, and I get often told that I'm very personable, interested in others, and at times charismatic. I don't always see that, but I get that feedback from people now, and they were like, oh, you're an extrovert, and it's actually very much an introvert, and like that time to myself. So unfortunately, it's not because of those relationships and the improvements that I made that this video is here today. It's actually because of an interaction with my brother earlier this week, and it's often the relationships that aren't going as well that remind you of the basics. Today I'm going to give you 4 tips on how to improve the outcomes of your relationships and maintain your integrity at the same time. So a little bit more though first on my story with my brother. Overall, I was a pretty terrible brother growing up. Because I was very insecure and got teased at school, I felt like the only way to feel good about myself was to beat him up or call him names at home. And so we did a lot of fighting, and overall I was just a terrible brother. A couple years ago, I was helping him move, and I told him that, hey, I know I've been pretty terrible over the years, but I realized that I want to have a better relationship with you. Reached out, apologized, said, I don't expect you to forgive me right away, but I want to work on rebuilding that relationship with you. And so I've been trying to do that over time. Well, last weekend I reached out, haven't spent a lot of time with him because he spends a lot of time with his 3 kids and my sister-in-law, which is completely understandable. But I said I'd like to get a dinner or drink. I haven't seen him in a long time, so I figured it'd be a good way for us to reconnect. Anyways, I got back that, hey, I was rude and I should be more considerate because he has a family and I shouldn't react that way. Anyways, between him and sister-in-law, some nasty things were said back and forth. I didn't always have 100% the best responses, but I tried my best to maintain my own integrity and have the desired outcome in mind. So although I could have handled it better, it's really caused a lot of stress because I want that relationship. So here are the 4 things that come up that reminded me while having this conversation with him on relationships and handling them with integrity. Alright, number 1, know your outcome so that you can begin with the end in mind. So if you're going to start an interaction or talk to somebody, know what you're trying to tell them or what the end result is. It's going to be much more positive if you know you're going to try to rebuild a relationship versus coming from a place of anger and defensiveness. If people are saying mean and nasty things about you, it's going to be very easy to snap back. But if you know that overall you're trying to maintain this, you're going to handle it much differently. It helped for me that I was reading Tuesdays with Maury, and it was talking about death and loved ones and how to truly live when you know that you're going to die. And so I sent a text. The last text of the day was, if I were to die today, I want you to know that I love you. I want you to have an incredible life, so please enjoy it, love each other, and have fun. I can't take how that's going to be received, but if I were to die, that's truly what I want them to know, that I wish the best for them, and I want them to have an incredible life. Number 2 is to set boundaries. I was listening to a Brene Brown interview, and she was talking to a group of deacons, and one of them, or 2 of them, excuse me, they were giving to a family in need, and they were giving diaper, formula, food. But they held a lot of resentment and frustration towards them because every time they would give them the food, diapers, and formula, they would sell them, and they used that cash for gambling and drinking. So they were trying to help and they just saw the family throw it away. So Brene asked them, if you were to maintain your integrity and believe that people were trying their best, what boundaries would you need to set in place to maintain your integrity? And their response was to either give with grace, give it to them, and just know that they were trying to help, or stop giving to them completely. In your own life, in relationships, what boundaries do you need to set in place so that you can maintain your integrity and not compromise your own values? Number 3, control your breath. Breathing is one of the fastest ways to bring you back into your body and be present. And that's going to be very necessary so that you can guide the interaction. Because we all know that when someone gets angry or says mean things to you, that you want to get caught up into it and immediately throw it back at them. At least that's my natural tendency. But if you breathe, it's going to pull you back into your own body and allow you to be calm and be aware of what your intentions are again. And so emotions are contagious, and calm is just as contagious as anger. So if they're raising and escalating, but you stay calm because you're focusing on your breathing, it'll help bring that back down and be at a more resourceful state. I recommend practicing this in your everyday conversations. So when I'm talking to somebody, I try to breathe it in deep into my stomach and realize or stay present. So that when things happen that are challenging, that it's going to be a habit already and I can stay more calm and centered and not get caught up in the anger and resentment. And finally, realize that you can't control the outcome. You can only control your own reaction. So no matter how hard you try, relationships are messy. There's going to be people or family members that, even though you want a better relationship with them, the desired result or how you picture in your head may never happen. You have to be okay with that. You have to be willing to either let them go, give them space, and come back at another time if you really want that relationship. And if it's not worth it and there's just too much in between, you may just have to let it fall away. So yes, you can try and follow the first 3, and it will improve the quality. But once again, you have to be willing to let them go to have the possibility of having a relationship. Because if you keep forcing it, it's just going to make a bigger barrier in between you. So those are the 4. First, know your outcome. Secondly, be willing to set boundaries so that you don't compromise your own values and integrity. Number 3 is to focus on your breath, stay present with people. And the final one is you can't control relationships. It's not as simple as follow step 1 through 3 and everything turns out perfect. You have to be willing to let go and give people space. Thank you for watching this video today. Please subscribe to my channel so that I can give you valuable content in the next coming weeks where I try to teach people how to improve their bodies and improve their lives. If this helped you, please leave a comment or share with a friend so that they can see it and get the value as well. I'm Cade with Cade Fit. Once you get stronger, life gets easier. Hey guys, Cade here with Cade Fit. Books are my most valuable possession. I believe that each book has the ideas that can transform my own life. And because I'm recommending books on a regular basis, I'm like, hey, you're struggling with this, you should read this book. My clients were like, hey, why don't you create a list of the top books that you're always recommending to us? And so I did just that. I created the top 5 books to transform your life. They're broken into categories between wealth and finance, relationships, fear and self-confidence. And I broke them into the books that had the most value to me. And so if you click the link below, you'll get instant access to the top 5 books to transform your life. If you don't start changing the way you think, you will never change. Once you change your thoughts, your actions will change and your life will change. I promise that if you read these books on a regular basis, that your life will change forever.